Today on Houston Life, it's HL Obsessions Day, just in time for Valentine's Day. A gift to pamper your sweetheart to Cupid-approved gifts for your kids and teachers. We've got sweet promo codes that can save you up to 20% off.
And Lauren Kelly is giving us a look at the first ever traveling Italian water circus that kicks off this weekend in Katy.
Plus, a former teacher who was inspired by growing up in Third Ward. A look at her exciting new novel for young adults.
And a rich history here at Emancipation Park. We're going to tell you how this history and famous park was the only one here for African Americans in Houston. All of that and more on Houston Live today.
Is that for real? Oh.
From Studio B at KPRC Channel 2. Houston Life starts now.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to Houston Life. February 2nd already. Courtney, how you doing?
I'm good on this Groundhog Day.
It is a beautiful Groundhog Day. It's such a trip. Anytime we watch Groundhog Day, you know, the ceremony that they do.
Yes.
With
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil, that's right. Because, you know, they're all out in the snow and they're bundled up. In Houston today, it feels like a beautiful spring morning.
I know, it was chilly in the morning. You saw Joe Sam in his T-shirt. Not a cloud in the sky. It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. Well, I'm glad to see you. We just watched the Sn9 launch. Did you all see that? We're going to talk about it in just a little while. It was just a test launch. Fascinating to watch. Bummer to know that it crashed there on landing, but they have reminded us, SpaceX has said this is just a test and it's all part of the process.
Absolutely. You know, we, as I said, the weather is so pretty today, and every morning, rain or shine, well, maybe not so much rain because I have Oscar with me. I go on our 2 to 3 mile walk every morning with Oscar.
That's a long walk.
It is so great. He's very excited. Well, we had a viewer, Linda, email in today.
I saw that email.
And she also said she loves the show, loves you, Derek.
Thank you, Linda.
But was wondering approximately how long does it take you to walk 2 miles each morning? So inspiring and motivating. Well, Linda, I did respond to you directly, so hopefully you got my note. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much. We love hearing from our viewers, especially the nice ones. But it was so sweet because I usually, you know, shoot a video or something of Oscar looking for sticks or running through the sprinklers or something. With him, it kind of depends, but on average, it's about 30 minutes, depending on, you know, he stops and has to sniff and do his business, but
that's
28 to 30 minutes.
That's a fast walk.
Yeah, we get going.
That's like a 10-minute mile walking? Mm-hmm. Are you speed walking?
A little power walk, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and then sometimes he'll run with me as well. So if it's a run day, he keeps pace for me. He's a fast runner. So he's making me a little bit faster, but hopefully it does provide people some motivation. It's great to just get out and move, and if that seems like a big chunk of time or a lot of effort, just go for a walk around the block, maybe 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Each week, add a little bit more, and before you know it, you'll be cruising to 2 and 3 miles.
And getting outside, I know it sounds so simple and basic, but I feel like we even need reminders at our house. We started riding our bikes on the trails, and whether we're out biking or walking or running, and my mom and I have chatted about this too, after COVID, I feel like after this year, so many people feel cooped up. And for my mom, who lives alone, she feels especially isolated. We were on the phone just a bit ago, and she said, oh, I've got to get my walk in before your show so I can watch the show. So no matter your living situation, I think it's great to get outside and just, you know, if you're feeling down or you're feeling in a slump, it's nice to, you know, get some fresh air.
Absolutely, it does. It's good to kind of, like, I always say, get the cobwebs out a little bit just to go on a walk. And we have our routine people that we will see, you know, the dogs in the neighborhood that Oscar wants to say hi to, or just other people walking about, and you know, they become the regulars, and you get nervous when you don't see them on your walk every now and then. My mom goes on her walk with Aunt Rob every day, and so it's nice to get out, breathe the air before it gets too hot. We still do it when it's hot, but it's good, you know, and it tires him out for a little bit.
Well, I think it's cool that you have Oscar as your little walking, running buddy.
It's fun.
Maybe we should get a dog. We have the conversation every day.
You should do it, but listen, if you need a sleepover or something, we're happy to drop them off.
Oh, okay.
Anytime.
Okay, done.
Hide everything off the counters.
Yeah. Hide the French toast. Okay, so back to this SpaceX launch. In case you missed it, they launched their Sn9 Starship this afternoon. You remember last month it was the Sn8, or actually was that December? So that was more than last month ago. That was in December. And this launch, I was in the control room with Ray and Chris watching this just about half hour ago. And you know what I think is really cool about watching these launches? They have microphones mounted on the craft itself, so you hear what it sounds like all the way up.
Wow.
You're not just hearing the sound from the ground, you are hearing, it's almost like you have a front row seat. Here you can see now it's falling and it's supposed to go upright and then, you know, land gently. Unfortunately, it did not land so gently. Once again, this is sort of a repeat of exactly what happened with the Sn8 aircraft.
Right. And they said, don't worry, this is a practice, so, you know.
No people on board.
Right.
It was just a practice there in Boca Chica, South Texas. Roe was Rosanna Aragon, of course. She had a front row seat to the Sn8 launch. And it's just, as we talk about sending people up into space, I think it's cool that we are witnessing the private sector now give it a go.
It's still a little mind-boggling to me, though, you know, because it's not just hopping a plane and going to Seattle.
Oh,
Yes.
It's mind-boggling, the idea of humans going into space.
Yes.
Yeah, civilians going into space.
Yes, civilians.
Well, before we chat more about that, you can stay up to date with the latest SpaceX news at clicktohouston.com, and we will have another update on that launch on KPRC 2 News at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and, you know, as we were saying, that SpaceX has announced its first commercial mission to space with an all-civilian crew.
Yeah.
This is crazy to me. Entrepreneur Jared Isaacman will be trained by SpaceX to command the mission dubbed Inspiration 4. 2 seats will be donated to a St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. One will be for St. Jude's cancer survivor and the other to a St. Jude's donor. The 4th seat is reserved for a winner of a contest limited to customers of Isaacman's e-commerce platform Shift4Shop. The SpaceX Dragon spacecraft will make the multi-day trip into Earth's orbit sometime late in the year.
You're kidding. It's that soon.
Yes.
Okay, this guy, by the way, is a billionaire, so he's in good company with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You know, he dropped out of high school and started a company, like, at his parents' house.
The guy?
The guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Isaacman. I guess it's an e-commerce site. It helps businesses, you know, process transactions, financial transactions.
Okay.
But it is, I think it's incredible. By the end of the year, I mean, that's a pretty aggressive timeline.
Would you go? I know you would. You would.
I don't know. I remember when I was a young reporter, I went down to see the wreckage of the Titanic. I was the first TV journalist and youngest to go down, and that was incredible. It's more than 12,000 feet below the surface of the North Atlantic Ocean, and it was great. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go in space after this. I think as I've gotten older, I realized there's some risks I don't know I would take anymore. I doubt I would go into space. Yeah. I'm nervous flying in a regular airplane. I don't think I would do well in space.
I know. I know I wouldn't. And maybe that sounds really chicken, but...
No, maybe it's also a conversation that we should not be having on the heels of just watching a SpaceX spacecraft crash.
Right. A test flight, of course.
Test flight.
Yes.
Test flight.
I know. Well, okay.
Okay.
More to talk about, I guess. And we, of course, are continuing our partnership with TSU today, honoring Black history. You know, all month long, KPRC2 will be showcasing articles on our website from the students of TSU's School of Communication and members of KTSU's To The Voice online team. You can check out today's story, Music is My Life, how a Houston musician helped change the city's orchestra scene forever, and that's at clicktohouston.com.
And tomorrow, we will continue with more articles from TSU students on clicktohouston.com/Black History. Okay, we're going to shift gears entirely now. I loved reading this story. How's this for a dating strategy? So Jennifer Coolidge, perhaps best known for her roles in Legally Blonde,
The Bend and Snap.
Yeah, The Bend and Snap. You know she's 59 years old.
I'm going to get the dog.
Yeah.
I love her. I cannot believe she's 59.
59 years old. And remember, Legally Blonde was like 20 years ago. An American Pie. Remember the Christopher Guest movies too? Best in Show.
Oh, yes. She is fantastic.
I feel like one of our themes here at Houston Life is that it is never too young to do something new and to reinvent yourself.
Totally.
She was in her 40s by the time her career really hit. In
Crazy.
her 40s. Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, she was not a household name love you, Jen. So proud of her. So check this out. So the story goes that once she pretended she was a twin in order to date 2 different men she had met. These guys were friends. She met them on a Hawaiian vacation. So she pretended to have an identical twin in order to date them both.
I mean, let's just, well, the men were on the same, like they were friends?
They were friends, and she, you know, pretended that she had an identical twin sister.
Oh my word.
Wouldn't
Only
that be
her could
amazing?
pull that off, though.
Listen, the world needs more Jen Coolidge.
She
I'm telling
is
ya.
so funny.
Isn't it great, though? She's so, you know, when you work in television, you sort of meet people over the years and you rub elbows with them. She happens to be one of my favorite people in the entire world. And, you know, Groundlings is this comedy troupe in LA. It's one of the places she studied. She went to Emerson College and studied in New York. But then Groundlings in LA, it's the place where that woman, Stephanie, who's Flo on the Progressive car commercials.
Oh, yes, yes,
like
yes.
Kristen Wiig, Melissa
Okay.
McCarthy. So many of these people have gone from Groundlings to Saturday Night Live. And, you know.
That's where they started their career, basically.
Yeah, and beyond.
So great. And you've met her a few times, right?
Yeah, I have. I think we have. Oh, wow.
Well, that was a minute ago.
Excuse me.
You look at your cute hair.
A minute ago.
I'm just saying because it was the puffy hair. I love it.
I think we both look exactly the same.
You do. You do. I love her.
I don't even remember what year that was.
When was that? Or I mean, not when, but where were you?
Probably 2004 or 5. We were at some awards dinner, and she, you know, shortly after that, we had gone hiking, and you know, she loves makeup, but outside of makeup, she can fly a little more under the radar.
Sure.
You wouldn't necessarily know it's her.
Right.
Big fan of Jen Coolidge.
I love her. I'd like to be her friend. She seems really fun.
Her dating strategy, too.
I know.
Fan of that. All right, still to come on Houston Life, 6 more weeks of winter. Today is, of course, Groundhog Day, and Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow. So we're talking days you would relive in today's viewer question.
I'm stuck on his teeth. I love it.
They're
he makes
beautiful
me smile.
teeth.
I know. Plus, Joe Sam is live at Emancipation Park. Find out about the history and significance in the African-American community when Houston Life returns in just 2 minutes.
What you know about me? Just what the people say. No, you don't know about
You okay there?
I'm okay. Puxatawny Phil has spoken. It is official. 6 more weeks of winter. Official. Statistically.
Hallelujah.
I know. Phil has only been right about 50% of the time, though, in the last 10 years. This puts Britta Merwin in a tailspin.
50% of the time?
Yeah, in the last 10 years.
That's essentially, it means he's useless.
Right. But he's cute.
Okay.
And it's, you know, they do it every year.
So is there a 50-50 chance that winter will last 6 more weeks? Oh, could be right, could be wrong. Oh,
We're just
okay.
going to move on.
Well, I'm glad we do this tradition all the time.
Right, it allows them to get dressed up and grow their beards and whatever. The first Puxatawny Groundhog Day celebration, by the way, was recorded in 1886. And that is not the original Puxatawny Phil. That's a
Oh,
descendant.
I was going to say, he has lived a very long time.
And you know, the movie Groundhog 1993, of course, starring Bill Murray, Andy McDowell. That was a cute movie.
Oh, they look like babies. I have never seen that movie.
I mean, I have. I don't remember it. I think it was funny. It was a long time ago.
Well, he doesn't, I mean, it's sort of like the theme of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's just over and the same
Over and
day
over.
over and over again. So
would
he
like
just
to
keeps
watch that.
reliving that same day over and over and over.
Wait, so Groundhog Day, he has a 50-50 record of being right or wrong?
Yeah, that's what it said. Why do we care then? It's a tradition.
It's a tradition, and I
Doesn't
actually
really mean anything.
Okay, but it is a sweet tradition, and groundhogs are adorable.
They're cute.
Yeah, just don't get
Stuck
your
on-
fingers close to their
No.
mouth. Well, we figured even though Puxatawny Phil is wrong half the time, I mean, I'm wrong half the time too, so I still have a job. For today, anyway. We thought it was a good jumping off point for our question of the day. Which day in your life would you like to live over again? You know the drill. Head on over to our Facebook page. Houston Life TV is what you search if you don't already follow us. And your answer could be read live later on today's show. Do you have a day you'd like to relive?
You know, I would say, you know, just to like remember the moment, I would do our wedding day, I think, again.
Okay.
And then if I could choose a second one or one to go along with that, almost would be maybe kindergarten, just to see what that was like. that first day in kindergarten, you know, when you kind of leave and go. And I don't know. I guess because I've seen my kids, I don't really remember kindergarten or first grade.
Really?
I don't have a lot of memory. You know me, my memory is so bad.
I remember all of kindergarten and first grade. Remember the day I wore a bra to school in kindergarten?
No.
I told you this. The teacher called my mom.
See, I don't even remember that
And
story.
my mom threatened her. She's like, he'll wear whatever he wants to school. Stay out of this.
Right. Interesting. I don't think you've ever told me that story.
Really? I thought I did.
No.
Well, yeah, it happened. I was 5. Imagine a 5-year-old in a very large adult woman's bra. It didn't fit so well. I think, you know, my sister's wedding day is a day that I would love to relive.
Okay.
Because speaking of my mom got up to speak at the wedding, and it's like the room fell silent. And she has this ability to speak, and everyone just listens. And she was sparkling and beautiful and funny. And I was like, that lady should host a TV show.
Oh, look at that.
We don't have it on video. That's why I would like to replay that.
Right, just to remember it. Yeah.
Okay,
a
well,
good one.
keep those days you would like to revisit coming to our Facebook page. But in the meantime, let's toss it out to Joe Sam, who is at Emancipation Park with a look at its history here in Houston.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys, yeah, it's such rich history here. Now this park would serve as the only park for blacks back in 1800s. Now this was during the Jim Crow period. As you already know, Jim Crow had abandoned so many different laws for African Americans. We couldn't sit at the same parks with whites. We couldn't eat at the same places that whites did. And of course, we couldn't get the right to vote. So this place was a place for African Americans to come and really congregate and have a great time. And I'm at the Arch right now where the founders were. And we're speaking to what a great pleasure, Jacqueline Bostick, one of the great-granddaughters of one of the founders and the vice chairman. How are you?
I'm doing just fine today. How are you?
We are feeling fantastic because we're talking about the history of this park, and it's such great things that it's done for the city of Houston. But let's talk about the history of it. Tell us a little bit about the founders who had founded this park.
Well, you know, the park was actually founded in 1872, just 6 short years after the end of slavery in Texas in 1866. The park was founded as a place for people to come and have community and be with themselves. This is the first park in the city of Houston and in the state of Texas.
Wow.
There were no other green spaces at that time. But the founders of this park believed that there was a need to have a space where people could come together and be together as a community and observe their holidays, and especially the holiday of freedom,
Absolutely. Juneteenth is such a great time to celebrate that too, and you're one of the great-granddaughters of which founder?
Jack Yates, Reverend Jack Yates.
Beautiful, beautiful. We see the arches here. We see they have the different meanings on them here, liberation, opportunity. We see creativity and release. This is a space that they can practice all of those things, correct?
Right, they can practice all of those things, and the community can be a part of all of those things. This park was for the community.
Absolutely. And it's going to continue being for the community because when we come back, we're going to be talking about the recent things that you guys have done here at the park, just recently celebrating the Black Lives Matter movement and the different memorials that you put out there, which was a beautiful sight to see. So many people came out here. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. So stick around. Don't go anywhere because it's such a privilege to have Ms. Bostick here with us. And we're going to continue to talk about Emancipation Park and her connection and family connection to Emancipation Park as well. For right now, we're going to send things back to you in the studio.
Okay, Joe, thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing the next hit. And coming up, the perfect Valentine's Day gift that cares for your skin and bees. How you can get 20% off with our Houston Life promo code HL Obsessions is next.
And later, Lauren Kelly takes us on an international trip without even leaving Houston. How you can get a taste of Italy when Houston Life returns. Can you believe we are less than 2 weeks away from Valentine's Day?
I know.
It's a trip, right? Okay, so on this HL Obsessions Day, we are sharing gift ideas that are flirty, fun, and caring, of course, for everyone on your list, from your other half to even your kids' teachers.
Absolutely. And if you love these products as much as we do, we have some discount codes for you as well today. By the way, we always like to mention this. We are not paid or compensated by these companies at all. These are just simply products that we love, what we want to share with you, and we use them.
Yeah, and the show is not paid either. We
No.
literally call these companies and say, hey, can we feature you on TV. Okay.
And we love featuring small business.
We do. This started as a small business, not so small anymore. Boy Smells. I have to give Brandon credit for this one. We gave you a Boy Smells candle for Christmas. So I'm telling you, they're some of our favorites, packaged in pink to sort of defy gender stereotypes. Boy Smells thinks loving your identity should be a daily ritual, not just with candles. Now they have a new underwear line, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. So these are developed with fragrance and natural oils, all natural coconut wax, beeswax blend, hand poured in these beautiful vessels that are reusable. Here's a look at some of their Instagram posts. They have a beautiful Instagram page. You can visit their website, boysmells.com. And they even have this partnership with Casey Musgraves, one of my all-time favorite musicians. And hers is called Slow Burn, named after her song. So, you know, on a nice night, we pour a glass of wine, play some Slow Burn. It is a showstopper. I can't recommend them enough. So get this. They also have a brand new Unmentionables line.
Foundations.
Foundations, another way to say undies, underpants.
Underpants.
And so it's essentially underwear that feels like you are not wearing anything at all. It's COVID, I'm sorry, we don't have any underwear models in the studio today. No. Maybe after COVID we can do that. But you can see their underwear line online, boysmells.com. I think we have a photo. It's for both men and women. And again, the idea is that you feel like you're not wearing anything at all. I don't know how else to say it, but a beautiful palette of colors. You can watch for seasonal sales and discounts on some Boy Smells lines. You can also buy locally from Cool Linscomb, which is where we buy ours. And I didn't bring it from home today. I brought just the box, but they also have a Magnum candle, which is gigantic and lasts forever. So that's what we burn at home.
Nice.
The big one.
They smell lovely. Okay, I'm very excited to share this next product line with you and everyone else. This is called Generation B, and this was started by Gia Guzzo and Mike Nestepniak. I said it right. Started Generation B after Michael fell in love with beekeeping. Generation B, it's an all-natural skincare line that has honey, beeswax, and pollen from their personal beehives, and it's used into the products. They only use essential oils to give it the scent. And Michael and Gia, this small business, micro business, they make all of their products by hand in small batches in their shop. This has been going on since 2016. They've created 6 different lip balm scents, an extensive line of skincare, body care, beeswax candles, you know, that's gonna burn clean, makeup remover. These bath salts that you see in the big jars there in the video, that's the lip balm, which I use. The boys love them.
How's the key lime?
It is amazing. So good. Pink grapefruit is my favorite. The body scrub, it's in my shower. They also have their own honey, as you see there. Their body oil. They have beard oil for men. Everything. This is basically one-stop shopping, okay? It is really fantastic. If we come back to me, I want to show you guys these products right here. I had people asking me about certain masks and things for anti-aging. This is what I use. I use the anti-aging mask. I also use the detoxifier. I am going to open this up just so you guys hopefully can see this. It's a dry mask, okay? So you see the powder, and then you add water to it. You make your paste in your hand and put it on your face.
I didn't even know that those existed.
It is unbelievable. It's it is such a great mask. Whether you have a pimple, a breakout, you need to detox your skin, that would be this one. The anti-aging, these are, I basically ping pong these 2 masks all the time. The makeup remover, these are also really good gifts too. These bath soaks, and it comes with a little net bag that you pour everything in and put it in your bath. Y'all, it's fantastic. And here's the thing. Here's our promo code. Use HoustonLife20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order. The code is going to expire on Valentine's Day, February 14th, generationb.com.
It's beautiful packaging,
Isn't it great?
I love the honeycomb, and I love that it's all natural.
I know, it's such great stuff, and I'm so hooked, and I know y'all will be too.
Very nice, Courtney.
I know.
Boy Smells and Generation B.
We got you covered, but don't forget, we've got 2 more coming up too. We do have more obsessions to share. You guys are gonna love these ideas for kids and teachers. And speaking of Valentine's Day, you can give your loved ones a My Houston Life shout outs.
This is a pretty cool idea. All you have to do is head to HoustonLife.tv and click on the My Houston Life tab. Then upload a virtual Valentine and you could see your message airing right here live on Houston Life.
So cool. We love when you guys do that.
We certainly do. All right, still ahead on Houston Life. From growing up in Third Ward to landing a 6-figure book deal, we'll chat with the local author inspiring teens to fight for their dreams.
Plus, we're going to check in with Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look ahead at the news at 4. Houston Life is back in 2 minutes. Well, welcome back. Courtney and Derek back with you now at 3:30.
3:30. Time now to check back in with you all, our viewers, about what you had to say for our question of the day. In honor of Groundhog Day, we asked, which day in your life would you want to live over again? We have some really sweet responses today. Taylor writes in, I could relive both times they laid my children on my chest. I'm guessing this is right after birth. I can't pick just one child. 2 best days of my life. What an incredible moment to meet your child for the first time.
You just melted my heart. And Jody writes in, the day I arrived in Taiwan, 1967, it began a 13-year adventure overseas.
Oh, wow. We'd love to hear more about that story, Jody. And Christy writes in, the last Christmas I spent visiting with all my grandparents still living. I would have savored every moment, hugged longer and tighter, listened to stories better, asked more questions. The list goes on and on. Kids, put down those devices and live in the moment. Every day with loved ones is a gift.
Oh, wow. You guys are getting right to the heartstrings today. And Rachel writes in, my 30th birthday in London with family a few years ago. I can't wait to use my passport again someday.
Oh, amen to that. We're all going a bit stir crazy. Well, thanks to our viewers for all of your comments. And now why don't we check in with Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look at what's coming up on the news at 4 o'clock. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. How are you doing? Yeah, always great to go down memory lane, and I wonder what would I relive?
They're really bringing the feels. I mean, you think back at like maybe the last Thanksgiving, the last Christmas, when it was super chaotic and it felt chaotic at the time, but looking back being like, man, what I would do to have that time with my family right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Good stuff, though.
So,
Good stuff.
You have 5 beautiful women in your life. So what birthday, what daughter, the day you would want to relive?
Daughter number 2, whom I actually got to deliver her. Like, I did like 85% of the delivery. It was planned way ahead of time. I was Dr. Garvin for about 45 minutes. It was amazing.
Wow, Keith.
Yeah.
Wow.
So. More talented than you thought.
Yeah. Frank, what about you? What about you?
Oh, you know, every day is a gift.
Yeah. It is, especially on days like today when it's super sunny.
You can't pick just one. Yes, all those memories warm our hearts. Today, Frank, it was warm outside as well.
It was beautiful. I mean, the little southeast wind kicked in, so that bite is not quite in the air. It feels really good. Abacus camera, look at that sunshine. Temperatures right there in the mid and even upper 60s. Sugarland right now, it's 68, so that's nice. It's going to continue to be a mild evening, so that dog walk looks good. 66, 64. We'll be in the 50s at 7 because the sun's going to go down. The air is still really dry, so it'll cool pretty quickly. But we were in the 30s this morning, not quite there. We'll be in the low 40s and the mid 40s, even upper 40s for overnight tonight. So still some jacket weather, but not nearly as cold as it was this morning. That high is shifted. That's why we have that southeasterly flow. But watching the northwest, that's our next front, and that moves in here overnight Thursday, which means it'll continue to be nice and warm until Thursday, and then things change. So an excellent evening. Enjoy the mild weather while it lasts. It will be a bit of a colder weekend. I'll detail that coming up at 4 o'clock.
Very good, Frank. Thank you. And here's a look at some of the other stories we're covering this afternoon in our newscast at 4 o'clock. We're going to be taking a look at how things are going in Fort Bend County after the health department received more doses of the coronavirus vaccine. No surprise, it didn't take long at all for the available appointment slots to be taken.
Plus, important news for patients when it comes to radiation treatments for certain types of breast cancer. The question is, could less radiation be more beneficial?
And finally, with Valentine's Day just 12 days away at this point, we want to know if the pandemic is forcing you to alter your plans. It is our Facebook question of the day today, so go to the KPRC2 Facebook page. Let us know. We're going to be talking about some of the comments coming up later on in our show at 4 o'clock, you guys.
All right, good combo, especially Valentine's Day is on a Sunday, so maybe that kind of changes plans for people too.
A little bit.
All right, guys, we'll see you at 4. Thanks a lot.
All right, we're going to shift gears now. A former teacher found inspiration in her Third Ward upbringing to create a new fantasy novel set in Houston. It's called Wings of Ebony.
And here it is right in between us. The cover's beautiful. Her name is JL, and she joins us now to chat about her impressive story. Hey, JL, welcome to Houston Life.
Hi, Thanks for having me.
It's so great. I love the cover of your book. Let's talk about this because you went to 22 publishers.
So I posted a tweet on Twitter and it blew up, and there were about 23 actually publishers who expressed interest in wanting to see it once I acquired a book agent.
What a cool thing to do, just putting your work out there and seeing who bites, right?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was a part of a pitch contest, but there are thousands upon thousands of writers pitching their books. And so you're just sort of like one little needle in a haystack. So it was definitely sort of just a shock when my tweet blew up and got so much attention.
So you grew up in 3rd Ward. Some of your family, they still live in 3rd Ward. I lived in 3rd Ward for a while. I love that neighborhood. This is your first novel. And also, we should point out, you are a first-generation college student. So I feel like one of the obvious questions is, how did this book even happen? I mean, how long did it take to write? And what made you decide to write a book in the first place?
So this book came to me just sort of suddenly one morning. I was sitting down to write, and writing is a lot like exercise. I wanted to get into the profession, but I didn't have any formal training. I just knew that I was passionate about storytelling. I do have a degree in journalism from the University of Texas, which I do think helped a little bit. But I sat down and I had a voice in my head and sort of an image of a girl standing in my neighborhood over a kid who had been harmed, and she just felt very sad and very powerless to stop it. And so I thought, you know, why don't I give this character in my head a chance to speak? And so despite not really having any experience doing this really, I just started typing, and in about 35 days I had about 70,000 words. And so started the revising process, and then I put it out in the world to see if anybody was interested in turning it into a book.
It's really incredible, JL, your story. I mean, 35 days to write it. It was released last week, and just the excitement of pitching the novel. Let's also talk a little bit more about you. Besides going to Texas, you also were a teacher, right?
Yes, I was a teacher at a KIPP school.
How great was that? This is so exciting. I think what's so great about this is you don't have to be sort of pigeonholed into a career. You never know what's around the corner.
Absolutely. And I love that writing is giving me the opportunity to interface with kids, because that's what it's ultimately about. Writing this book was very much, I specifically wanted it to be a teen book so that I could get it into the future change makers' hands.
How great, too, that you were able to sort of take your experience growing up in 3rd Ward, incorporate all those life experiences into this book. Your novel explores things like race, privilege, allyship, and is that a coincidence? I mean, given the events of 2020, everything that we've seen, the death of George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement, this timing seems like it couldn't be better. And I understand schools are actually working your novel into their curriculums.
Yes, several schools are studying it, several local schools as well. So interestingly enough, I wrote this book in 2018 because this problem, even though it has only gotten national attention last year with the civil rights protests and everything and the outrage after George Floyd's murder, this problem has faced our community for such a long time. So I think the book was born out of a lot of sort of unprocessed grief. And I think that it is definitely fortuitous that it's coming out now when there are more people paying attention to these conversations about racism and allyship and privilege. There's more heads sort of swiveling in our direction during Black History Month. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm very optimistic about what the book can do, especially with just how the response has been from readers, the reviews and such.
I think it's great that you're not forgetting about the tween reader and how important it is to get them involved and to listen to the topic. And by the way, I think it's great that you're paying it forward as well. We do know that the book, of course, is dedicated to George Floyd, and books have been donated to Jack Yates High School, where Floyd went to school. JL, it is great to connect with you. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you very soon. And Wings of Ebony is out now. You can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv, for a link where you can connect with JL. All right, coming up, say I love you this Valentine's Day with a one-of-a-kind gift for your one and only. We've got more HL Obsessions coming up later on in today's show.
Plus, Lauren Kelly is standing by with some circus fun.
And coming up, we are getting a look at the first
check out that stage behind us. Houston Life will be right back.
Cirque Italia is a way you can be transported to another international destination.
And earlier today, Lauren Kelly headed out there to learn more about this show that has taken flight right here in Houston.
Have you ever dreamed of going on an epic pirate adventure and discovering a buried treasure by way of a traveling water circus? Well, guess what? Now you can, you guys. Isn't that magnificent? She is hanging by her hair. This is Cirque Italia. We're out right next to Katie Mills Mall. And Morgan with the show is going to be so kind and tell us all about when you can expect and what fun tricks you can watch with the whole family.
Yeah, so we are the first traveling water circus in the United States. We have acts from all over the world, Brazil, Venezuela.
When you say water circus, is that because obviously the stage comes up and they're flying around the water effects, correct?
Yeah, and so we have a 35,000-gallon water tank underneath the stage. The stage lifts up, and then we perform with the water as well.
What I want to make clear, though, guests are not getting wet, correct?
No, we do not have a splash zone.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about who's performing for us right now.
So this is Fernanda. She's our hair hanging artist, and she is from Brazil.
She's hanging from her hair.
Yes, she's hanging from her hair.
Oh my God! You gotta tell me what kind of shampoo and conditioner she uses. What other acts can we see?
So we have everything from aerialists, acrobats, contortionists, jugglers. It's really fun for the whole family.
I know the jugglers are here. Tell us a little bit about the juggling act.
So our juggling act, he is also our Rollabola performer. He is a brand new act this year, and we're just so excited to have him.
It's wonderful. This is such a great tent, too. It's under the big blue and white swirl out near Katie Mills Mall. You're definitely keeping all the COVID-friendly safety features, so guests can come and feel safe when they bring their family as well.
Absolutely. We do require you wear a mask to attend the show, and we are enforcing social distancing, and we're sanitizing the tent every 10 to 15 minutes.
Wonderful. You're in town Thursday through Sunday. I have to ask, your mask is beautiful. It is very mermaid-esque. Are you a mermaid?
I am. I am the mermaid in the show.
I love it. Morgan, thank you so much for the information. There's also a discount code for tickets, and if you guys want more information on that, you can just log on to HoustonLife.tv for more.
All right, Lauren Kelly, thanks so much. Thursday through Sunday there, Cirque Italia. Okay, you ready for some more HL obsessions? It's our Valentine's Day edition, and so far we have covered 2 brands we really love. Now it's time for 2 more. First up is a label that is brand new, and we discovered this back in November when they launched, right? And somehow a little gift basket was left on our desks. We are obsessed. So Cobalt was founded by 2 Houston working moms, Christina Milligan and Molly Voorhees. So their goal was to create a discreet and portable surface cleaner to disinfect all those dirty, high-traffic areas. I mean, we're like living in the time and age of hand sanitizing all the time. So Cobalt launched back in November with surface cleaners, face mask sprays, and cootie-killing hand sanitizers. They smell fantastic. And also, what I like about the product, obviously the packaging steps up. Yeah, it's beautiful. It steps up our sanitizing game. And I feel like this is something that, because we are all, again, living in this time and age where we're constantly using hand sanitizer, why not have something that looks fantastic?
Absolutely.
You know?
And the little thing that you can carry on your bag too, right?
Yeah, they have the little portable keychain hand sanitizer. They also have this touch and go essentials kit with hand sanitizer, surface cleaner, little microfiber cloths so you can wipe down areas. There they are, Christina and Molly. So proud of them. So Houston Life discount code, it's literally just capitalized Houston Life at checkout for 20% off your order. That code does expire on February 9th. CobaltClean.com. You can check them out on Instagram as well. But we love this product, and we're so glad we discovered it.
Absolutely. The boys love the bubblegum scent hand sanitizer.
The peppermint is great, too, our favorite.
It's super fun. Okay, moving on. You guys know I love stationery, gift tags, personalization. If I can monogram everything, I would. This is where Scribbled Designs comes in. This is a business created by 2 teachers who wanted to help parents during home learning. We are still going through this. They basically started with these binders that are right here in front. They come with dry erase boards, so it keeps kids busy. If you need them while you're cooking to go through and start doing their letters and cursive and all of that, that's how this all started. Then they moved over to basically notepads and how to teach your kids how to write a thank you card, like a personalized thank you card for young kids.
What a great skill to learn.
Yeah, so the letter is there for you, but they add their own touches, but their name is on it, and it's got the designs on it exactly how they want it to look, or there's great little gift cards and teachers' gifts and all kinds of wonderful things. The other thing is, too, right now they're doing gift tags for all of the Valentine's Day goodies that need to be dropped off at your school ahead of Valentine's Day. All of these things can be ordered ahead of time, in enough time, and by the way, you can use Scribbled 20 for 20% off your order, and code is going to expire on February 9th. They do have an Etsy shop, Scribbled Designs shop. They're also on Instagram, but 2 local teachers that came through all of this. The notepads, if you like this one for kids for diaper changes, keeping track of feedings.
Love
Lovely.
the custom stationery. A reminder, we are not paid or compensated by these businesses. They're simply just products we love and businesses we love supporting. Be sure to check out our website, HoustonLife.tv, if you'd like to order any of the products and for those discount codes as well.
Absolutely. Let's check in with Joe Sam, who's guiding us through Houston's Black history this afternoon.
Hey, Courtney and Derek. So we gave you guys a little history earlier about Emancipation Park. When we come back, we're going to be telling you about some of the exhibits and programs they've had here to continue that rich education of African-American history and what programs they have coming up in the future. Much more Houston Life after a quick break. Well, welcome back here to Houston Life. You know, we are giving you education about Black history here in Houston. Today, we're at Emancipation Park, and we've been talking about how rich in history it is to the area. We just finished talking to one of the great-granddaughters and Vice Chairman, Jacqueline Bostic here, and you've been giving us some wonderful information about the park. You told us a little bit about its history, but we want to talk about what you guys have been doing recently to continue that education of Black history here in the area. So, again, we mentioned about the exhibit that you guys had just a couple of months ago. If you take a look down here, there was a lot of pillars with all of those people's names, and we continue to say their names now. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin. Tell us a little bit about that event and how it's actually really impacted a lot of people in the area.
It was wonderful. We had people to come from all over the country to see this exhibit. It helped people to understand the plight of African Americans and people of color is still today when they are suffering social injustice, and that their lives do not matter to some people. And so it was truly an honor to have the exhibit here because so many people came to see it and were moved by it. So many of our activities are virtual, as you know now,
right,
because of the pandemic. However, in the month of December, we were able to, along with the Chris Williams at Lucille's, feed over 5,000 people one day.
And we were there for that as well.
Were you here for
beautiful.
That? Yes.
It was
we
beautiful.
We were able to give out more than 1,000 gift cards to HEB, to people here in the community.
And you guys are going to continue doing that.
And we just continue doing things all the time, even though most of our activities have been gone virtual.
And we're going to continue to speak about their activities and what they have happening here at Emancipation Park. Thank you so much for joining us. And tomorrow, we're going to be continuing to talk about Black history with the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, the first Black church here in Houston, created by slaves. So some really rich history that they have here in Houston as we continue to celebrate Black history. Courtney and Derek.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Let's check in with Kevin Frazier now for a preview of what's coming up on entertainment tonight. Hey, Kevin.
Derek and Courtney tonight on ET, a sneak peek at this year's Super Bowl commercials, plus our flashback. ET was on the set of some of the greatest ads of all time. That's tonight at 6:30 right here on KPRC2. But sit tight because Houston Life will be right back.
Coming up tomorrow in Houston Life, I'm going to drink to this. It's Wine Club Wednesday, and HEB Wine Steward shares what the HEB Wine Favorites program is all about, and we're going to sip on 2 wines under 15 bucks.
Oh, sounds good to me. And have you heard of slugging? Well, I haven't, but apparently it's a skincare trend making its way all over TikTok. But is it safe? We'll get expert advice from our dermatologist. And we do want to mention an event happening tonight. You can catch Bravo's $1 Million Listing star Ryan Serhant John and Damon John of Shark Tank for a virtual book signing.
For every ticket sold, Ryan will be donating to Feeding America. And for more information, you can visit his website at bigmoneyenergy.com. And in a few weeks, Ryan's going to join us for a live interview about this amazing charity and his hit Bravo TV show.
Okay, very nice. It's always great to see people giving back. That's a fantastic organization. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us today on Houston Life. Don't forget to visit our website, HoustonLife.tv, for more info on the products and discount codes we featured today.
That's right. Let's check in with Keith and Christine for the news at 4. Hey, guys.